Are we okay? We're all doing good now? It's only been a couple of days. Everything's cool so far. I mean, they've rounded up some of the immigrants, the criminal part of the immigrants. They got the lead guy here from MS-13 up here in New York. They got some guys down in, I think, Miami that were part of the Guatemalan gangs, and they had rap sheets as long as your arm. So if they're deporting the criminals, immigrants, I mean, technically you're a criminal just by entering this country illegally. But if you're abiding by the laws, I would say, I'm not going to bother you people if you show me that you're doing what you want you need to do to survive in America. I guess that might be a bad analogy, but you know what I mean. People who are law-abiding, just doing their jobs and making sure that they don't get in any kind of trouble. We've also heard about, there's already, I think, 22 lawsuits about the executive orders, so we'll see where all those go. But that comes from every administration, So even Biden, when he did his, people were suing the shit out of him too. So I think the biggest one that they're talking about is that birthright citizenship, because illegals come over, have a baby, and the baby's a citizen, but they're not, so you can't deport them or whatever it was. That's being challenged in court because they're talking about a 14th Amendment thing with the birthright. So that's going to take a little while to move through. A lot of people are not happy about the DEI stuff, the Paris climate. It's a lot. It's a lot because he did a lot on day one, and it's a lot to keep up with, and he's still doing them, from what I understand. But it's a lot. It's a lot. So we'll see what happens. Wow. I'm just looking at some of them, and it's like blah, 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 blah. To sit there and read through all these things. It's a monumental effort on my half because I don't like to read. I can read. I just don't like it unless it's enjoyable. Boring shit, just all this legal jargon and stuff like that. I could, I just don't like. There's certain things I'll sit through and try and understand. But as for now, that's where we're at. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm waiting for the energy policy to kick in. Because I think when that kicks in a little more, I think that's when you'll start to see certain prices go down. Because remember, and if you watch Landman, which I've seen clips of, we are basically oil and stuff dependent. Everything we use, including the phones we use, he laid it out in one of the scenes. The petroleum that's needed to make the windmills, the oil needed to keep it lubricated while it's going in the air, transporting everything to where it needs to go. Even making the electric cars that you think is saving the environment is a lot. I mean, it's plastic. It's a lot of plastic in that car. So everything that we use in daily life is somehow petroleum based. So because we're a petroleum based society, it can never be gone. So I'm waiting to see how if we become more energy independent, is that when we see the prices go down? I'm not sure. That's just a theory on my part. I'm hoping that's what it turns out to be. But then again, you throw things like congestion pricing here in New York, and everything you're trying to save gets jacked up because of that. I don't know if houses are ever going to be affordable again for Gen Zers. It's a tough nut. I mean, I live in a townhouse, okay, an attached townhouse, in a townhouse community. And my house is worth almost $475,000. Even I looked at that and went, what? Because outside of my complex, 750, 700, some are 850. I saw some houses in my neighborhood for $1.2 million. What? So I feel bad for them because I don't know if they, even if the rates go down to a manageable rate like it used to be, like it was 3% or 4% at one time. Even at that rate, with the pricing of the actual house, I don't know how these kids are going to make it. I really don't, unless they inherit houses or if they have a damn good job where they can afford a house. It's tough. I'm telling my daughter already, you know, she's 18, she's in college. Save every penny you have. Because one day when you move out, maybe when you move out, you want to buy your own house. So have enough money to do that. Save every penny you have. Don't buy stupid shit. Don't buy stuff you don't need other than for school or whatever. Clothes, obviously. You got to wear clothes. But how can you buy a house nowadays? I can't move from here. There's no way. Because no, even if I get the $4 something for the house, it's $300,000 more to live outside of my complex. And I'm only a 2-bedroom. The 3 bedrooms here are going over $500,000. The one by me just sold for $530,000. A townhome. Okay? Because it had an extra bedroom. So the prices, unless there's another crash, God help us, and everything goes down again, these house prices are almost unreachable for these kids. And their first house is probably going to be the one they inherit from their parents. It's unfortunate, but that's the way I see the housing market going. It's an opinion. Don't quote me on it. I could be 100% wrong on this, but it doesn't look good for buying a new home. Of course, it also depends on the region of the country. New York, it's tough. Mississippi, probably not as much. But we'll see. You all have a good day, and booyah.